Hey everyone, Constant Canadian here, back with another video, and today we're going to be going over the list of changes in the June 11th patch for Borderlands 3, as well as talking about how I feel this new Mayhem mode plays. We have a lot to cover, so I'm just going to get right into it. So first things first, support for the Guardian takedown has been added. I will hopefully have a video out about that sometime early next week. Support for Mayhem level strings on item cards has also been added, which is honestly a quality of life change that I think everyone will appreciate. There have also been multiple improvements to Fight for Your Life for cooperative play. Multiple people can now revive the same target, resulting in a faster revive. Players who are being revived now move slower. The radius for the revive prompt has been increased, and there is now an added visual effects to help visualize the act of reviving. There have been a lot of optimization and stability changes in this week's patch as well. However, I will be leaving a link to the article below, since if I listed all the stability changes in this video, it would be way too long. Mayhem mode also had a bunch of changes today. The most important of which is that Mayhem 10 now only grants 10,000% extra health, armor, and shields instead of 12,500. Mayhem 7, 8, and 9 have also been adjusted to make the difficulty curve better leading into Mayhem 10. They have also fixed Wotan, the Kraken, Agonizer 9000, and Aista not dropping Mayhem level loot. The mob mentality and chain gang modifiers can no longer be rolled together. The floor is lava fires off less frequently, and the damage it does no longer counts as being in combat. And the chain gang modifier only generates beam while the player is near enemies, and the beams will now disappear as the player goes farther away. There have also been a bunch of Mayhem mode bug fixes, but again, I'll leave that to you to read because there are too many to list here. Alright, that's it for the patch notes, now on to the hotfix notes. Revenge of the Cartel anointments have been added to the permanent loot pool. Spikes from Coraxes and Manticores no longer ignore Zane's barrier. The Guardian takedown was rebalanced. A potential progression blocker when fast traveling from the Guardian takedown was fixed. And Zane's Sentinel not targeting enemies in certain cases has been fixed. There are also a bunch of buffs to certain SMGs in this week's hotfix. The Bitch, the Handsome Jackhammer, the Devoted, the Cloudkill, the Tsunami, and the 10 Gallon have all gotten increased damage. The Ripper's damage bonus from melee attacks has been increased. The Vanquisher has also gained increased damage and grants more damage while sliding. Okay, we all knew this was coming, right? It's time for this week's weapon nerfs. Starting with the Sandhawk now only fires 7 projectiles instead of 9. It also consumes 3 ammo per shot instead of 2 ammo per shot. The projectiles are spread out to make the shot the same size as it was with 9 projectiles. And finally, the projectiles fly faster but also disappear quicker. As for the Yellow Cake, they fixed the damage scaling to be for rocket launchers instead of for SMGs, resulting in it doing about 2/3 the damage as it used to, and the split projectiles now also deal less damage. And the last weapon nerf on this list, the Chaosin. The Chaosin has decreased accuracy, reduced critical damage, and reduced base damage to help it need a little bit more thought to actually use. Lastly, in this week's hotfix, airborne anointments have been buffed, the slide fire rate anointment has been fixed to do what it actually was supposed to do, the action skill next to Mag's anointment has gone from 50% extra elemental damage to 100% extra elemental damage, and the auto bear active incendiary damage anointment has been buffed as well. Alright, now that's everything for all the changes from yesterday, but the real question is Mayhem 10 worth going back to? A lot of people have stopped playing Borderlands 3 since the release of Mayhem 2.0, due to the fact that it just felt too over the top for a lot of players' tastes. And honestly, to answer the question, yes, I do think Mayhem 10 is worth another shot. I do think there are still a few buffs that should be made to certain weapons, but Mayhem 10 no longer feels like a marathon just to kill a basic mob type enemy. So honestly, if you've been putting off Borderlands 3 since Mayhem 2.0, give it another shot. I personally found it to be much more enjoyable than before. Anyway, that's gonna wrap up this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see all of you in the next one.